it's going to be 2 minutes each first, asking both of you, Jayant Sinha and Dr. Tharoor, to tell us what is your idea of India as we enter this 77th Independence Day week. Why don't you start, Jayant Sinha?
Thank you very much, Rajdeep. And first of all, let me start by thanking all of you and IIMUN for organizing this debate and putting together a fantastic event. So thank you very much for having us. Thank you, of course, Rajdeep, for anchoring this debate. And of course, a very warm welcome to my distinguished colleague in Parliament, Shri Shashi Tharoor. I have a very clear view. As we think about India in 2047, 100 years after independence, I think of a global superpower that's driving sustainable prosperity for ourselves, for India, and for the world. Sustainable prosperity by 2047, that's how I think about India 100 years after independence. The two words here that are very important are prosperity and sustainability. Prosperity and sustainability. So when I say prosperity, I mean that by 2047, we end poverty in India. And when we end poverty in India, all of our regions do well. Mumbai does well, Thiruvananthapuram does well, and my own Hazaribagh in Jharkhand does well. So we have regional growth, we have regional prosperity, and that's a very important element of prosperity. The second aspect of prosperity, which I think is very important for all of us, is to have a very strong safety net. And that includes, of course, healthcare, income support, pensions, education. We need to build that. We've done wonderful work on that over the last few years, which I will describe in detail later. But a strong safety net is very important for prosperity. And then the third, which hopefully all of you as young people will appreciate, I certainly appreciate in my own life, is a world-class, wonderful education system that's available to all. So when we talk about prosperity, we talk about those three things. We talk about end to poverty, high GDP per capita, we talk about a strong safety net, and we talk about a world-class education system. Now let me come to the second aspect of what sustainable prosperity means, and that revolves around the concept of sustainability. For us to genuinely have sustainable prosperity, it has to be based on the foundation of a rock-solid constitutional democracy. A rock-solid constitutional democracy, that is the foundation for sustainability. And if we have that kind of constitutional democracy, we will of course be able to get to net zero, because that's what we need to do. Our planet faces an existentialist crisis when it comes to climate change. We have to be on a net zero trajectory. We have to be in ecological balance. That's a very important aspect of sustainability. And the third important aspect of sustainability is to have a sophisticated, high-tech military as well, a military that can guard our borders, that can give us security in these very uncertain times. So we are living, and as the Honorable Prime Minister said, the Amrit Kal, the next 25 years will define India. We are very well positioned, a young, healthy workforce, which is what you are, a solid, rules-based democracy, and geopolitics that are very much in our favor now. That's why we need to build an India that is sustainable, an India that is prosperous. That's my vision for India in 2047.
Jayant Sinha with his vision for India. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, 2047, your idea and vision for India. Jayant Sinha says we are entering Amrit Kal. Respond.
Well, look, I mean, I just hope we stay out of Andhakal, but that's another matter. I do say that I don't disagree with anything Jayant has said in terms of his vision for the future. But my idea of India starts at the basics, which is the idea of an inclusive country. You remember when partition happened in 1947, we didn't divide on ideology. It wasn't communists on one side and capitalists on another, like the North and South Vietnam or North and South Korea or East and West Germany. It wasn't geography either. It wasn't North on one side and South on another. We were partitioned on the basis of one simple principle: should religion be the determinant of our nationhood? And those who said, yes, our religion defines our nationhood, they went off and created another country called Pakistan. And those who remained in India, which included all our great freedom fighters, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad, Dr. Ambedkar, you name them all, They all said, no, we have struggled for everybody, and we will create and build and sustain a country for everybody. And so in that process, they wrote a constitution for an inclusive India. An India where it doesn't matter, what language you speak, what religion you profess or don't, what your color of your skin is, which part of the country you're from. It shouldn't matter because it doesn't. You all have the same rights under the Indian Constitution. That's the idea of India that really matters to me, that we may have differences of caste, of creed, of color, of culture, of cuisine, of costume and custom, and maybe even consonant and conviction, but we still rally around a consensus. And that consensus is on the simple democratic idea that in a large, diverse country like ours, you don't really need to agree all the time, so long as you will agree on the ground rules of how you will disagree. And to my mind, this is what has sustained India, Indian democracy and the hopes of India until very recently, when some in authority have been challenging the very basis of this idea, who see in India through a much narrower prism of one religion, one language, one leader, who are anxious in that process to demonize an other with a capital O on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their caste, even weaponizing history to try and rake up wounds in the present, which we don't need to see reopened in the kind of future that Jayant and I would like to imagine for our country. I too want an India where, frankly, we can all dream of a decent job, a place, a healthcare clinic within a 5-kilometer walk maximum, less maybe, from our places of residence, a school to send our children to, 2 or 3 square meals a day, a shelter from the rain and the sun, and a decent job that enables us to dream of a better life and even still of having a better life for our children. We all want to give you, the next generation, a better India. But we are, unfortunately, in the process of dividing and damaging and wounding the India that exists. That is what saddens me so much. Everything Jan said is fine. I think we really need to use a modern metaphor, we need to concentrate both on the hardware of development, the ports, the roads, the airports, the highways, the railways, all of that, and also the software of development, which is the people, the education system, sanitation, healthcare, and above all, invest in all our people being together. To do that, we must focus on what unites us, not what divides us. If we can dream the same dreams together with our eyes open, we can take India into a glorious 2047. Thank you very much.
India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV.